He also helps brands to do their student outreach and identify student talents through Stumax platform. I welcome Sri Chiran Lakkaraju sir, the man of innovations. I request Sudha ma'am to escort him onto the dais. I would like to wish Charan sir a very happy birthday on behalf of Fountainhead family. Happy birthday, sir. I request you all to give it a big give sir a big hand to wish him a happy birthday. Thank you very much for joining me on this discussion. I'm sure we will have an enlightening conversation. The topic for our discussion today is oath and growth, ideals, guidelines and promises. We take an oath to strive to be the best version of ourselves, to help us remember to be true to our purpose. We take an oath to stand by a motive, that our intent and efforts are moral and just. We take oaths to invoke the support and blessings of everyone, to stand tall and not waver in our will. Oath and growth, are they connected or are they not? To know more, let's jump into this discussion. To kickstart this discussion, I would like to ask Bindu ma'am, what are your views on the relationship between oath and growth? In your views, are they connected or are they not?
Have a lovely morning. This is better. So, Geeta, you were talking about oath at different stages, right? So I'm an advocate. So in a court of law, when you go, they ask the person, whoever is giving evidence, to take an oath. So pretty much every other day I see someone taking oath, saying, I am going to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. And so when someone gives that kind of an undertaking, be it a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, whoever, because they are placing their hand on a religious book, which we believe is really close to their heart, to their emotions, to their whole soul and system. We believe that they are going to speak the truth. And the person who is doing that is expected on his own to speak the truth, because he believes that if I don't do it as per the oath, then it's negative, right? You get what I'm saying? Oath definitely is linked with growth. Maybe in today's system and society, with money playing such a big role, people do not see the reason to stick by what they have promised. Either, maybe not just in terms of going to court and doing it, like how I previously mentioned, but it's really important for people to understand that what you believe and what you say is going to reflect in what you do. And what you do, vice versa, the other way, reflects on what your beliefs in life are. Unfortunately, when I said previously, in today's society, it's an unfortunate situation that for the sake of money and power, what you promise to someone is not adhered to end of the day. Especially when we look at any politicians here. When you look at you, wrong politician. Yeah. So in the framework of politics, what you promise is not what you really stand by. Not all of them, but in general, that's how they look at it. I think Harita will know better about it, especially dealing with all sorts of people. Again, you know, in my line of work, I deal with one set, she deals with another kind of set of people. But having said that, yes, they're completely connected, related. Maybe you will not grow in a society in terms of being rich, being famous, but as an individual, it definitely will help you grow, because the other way, the flip side is, if you don't stick by your oaths and promises in life, what you've made to yourself, what you've made to your family, to the society, I think there is a diminution in your growth. It is a downside. So it is very important for someone to stick by what they believe, promise what they have to do, and stick by those promises. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very insightful. Now we know that there's two sides to it. Like, if we stick to our oath, then we can grow. And if we don't, it's a diminishing effect. That was really great, ma'am. Thank you so much. On the same theme, I would like to ask this next question to Sunil, sir. So, how far do you think an oath goes in being a motivation? So, like, so how much of a role, I'm sure you would have taken an oath at some point in your life. So, this oath, what role did it play in your journey, sir?
So, it's mainly the commitment towards yourself. It's not external all the time, if you're talking about growth. And if you have that level of commitment, whether you name it as oath or anything else, promise to yourself or anything of that sort, right? That definitely will take you, because somebody like people who have come here, seeing some of the amazing people on the dais or at the later panel discussions may get inspired, that will just help them get started. But what will help them continue the journey is the commitment that they have towards that self, themselves, and which we are talking as oath in this context. So as long as the commitment is there towards themselves to grow and help others grow, I think that will definitely help them continue the journey. That is super crucial in every aspect.
Thank you, sir. It was inspiring. Dr. Manasa, just like an ever-changing and developing mind of a child, the environment we live in is ever-changing. So the resources which are available today can be scarce 3 years down the lane, or the resources that we barely use today can be highly on demand. So in an environment like this, do you think it is very important to keep updating our oaths or like rephrasing those oaths? If so, how?
Good morning, everyone, and first of all, let me thank you all for having me, and I believe it's my pleasure to share the dais with such dignitaries. So, coming to your question, so resources, yeah, there are different kinds of resources, right? So some are replenishable, some are, endless, some are, they're not, we cannot replenish those resources. So depending on what we are looking at, we have to, make sure we act accordingly. So our oaths need to specify those things. If we act in any which way that is not in the good interest of the human welfare, I think that's something we need to work on. And that's the basic nature of the oaths, is to give that basic concept of how we handle things, how we are human, and how we, being human is to grow and have, all the resources around us also. So if we are doing anything that is going in the other direction, we have to take charge of that and make sure, we don't do a permanent damage to Mother Earth.
That was a great take onto the question, Doctor. So the next question is for you, Harita ma'am. Taking an oath is the first step to believing in self and then abiding by it. Do you support the statement, or do you think it is the other way around?
First of all, very good morning to all of you. Thank you, Meghna and team, for having me here. Can you repeat the question? Because the second part I didn't get it.
So basically, the statement is taking an oath is the first step in believing in ourselves and then abiding by the oath. So do you think this statement is accurate, or do you think believing in yourself comes first before taking an oath?
Actually, I would say they both go simultaneously. Oath is a reinforcement of what you believe in. And sometimes what you believe in is not very apparent unless you take the oath. I mean, it gives a concrete shape to what you believe in and what you are thinking of doing. So that is very important to clarify our thoughts. And often clarity comes when we write or talk. So oath and what we believe in, I believe it will go hand in hand. So one reinforces the other. And that is very important actually, and most importantly, oath is a reminder. A lot of times it's a reminder to ourselves, to our promises that we have in life. So it is good to keep going back and refurbishing the oaths so that we get that positive reinforcement back into our life. Hope that answered the question.
Yes, ma'am. So basically it is like, does the chicken come first or does the egg?
So basically both of them are together.
Yeah.
Evolution is a cycle now.
Yes, ma'am. That was such a great answer. I didn't actually expect that. For the next question, Charan sir, oath and growth are only related when it is a personal initiation and not forced. What are your views on this statement?
First of all, this is the most controversial question. I think Meghna has chosen that for me, because every day, whatever oaths we take, we don't take it because we want to. We are asked to. Majority of the times, like let's say now, there are leaders here. Everyone asks us, like, do you ask them? Did you ask that you have to take an oath, or did the student ask that I have to take an oath? So most of the times, it's like in a personal way. Now this audience is there, now I'm the only person who's talking out, but everyone is talking to themselves. That is a self-oath, that is the most biggest or most needed thing, rather than the oath which we talk with everyone. Because let's say when we speak some words outside and what we feel inside are different. If they're not in a synchrony, the real resonance happens when both frequencies match. And I personally feel any oath will be valuable if it is with personal, it is with you, rather than taking on a religious book or taking on anything. You'll never fear anything except you first. And a lot of people forget that. There's one nice movie dialogue. I'm not able to recollect exact words. Maybe Bobby is here, he might correct me. But there's one thing, like CC cameras won't be there everywhere. You are watching yourself. When you are watching yourself, your own actions, you can fool anyone in the world but not yourself. So the oath which you take with you, it matters a lot, because you'll always do what you want to do. So it's all about what you set rules for yourself, that matters a lot. So oath for personal reasons, it's about what you take it for yourself. That's the most crucial part of it. Yeah.
So India is my country and all Indians are, that's it.
Yeah, it's like again, we can go on and on. Maybe we'll post to the next question.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure that it helps all my students understand this concept of oath better. So this is a common question, but before we get on with the question, I request the students of Student Council to be ready for the oath-taking ceremony, which is lined up next. I request all the students of Student Council to get lined up. Thank you. So the question is common, so for all the panelists, you can all join in on the conversation. So the question is, most of the movements and social campaigns are led with a drive of passionate people taking oaths, and usually these oaths are broken once the situation dies down. So how do you suggest we can make sure these oaths stick and these people stick to their oaths until the campaign makes the required changes. So how can we stick to those oaths?
See, lots of times there's simple things which people miss out. You think about lots of big things. So I was in a kind of an ecology conference where there were plastic bottles on every table. So again, they were saying on the stage, they were talking about you have to remove plastic and everything, but there were not even glass bottles on stage. A simple thing. And again, there were a few speakers who were just having Coke in their small Coke PET bottles. So sometimes what you say, what you follow don't match with each other. That's a basic problem. We think about doing large things. Now, the only respect which pulls me back again and again to Fountainhead and is I feel Meghna and team does simple things in a very good way. They take a small lake project. It's just not okay for someone takes a lake project but ends it up there. But she ensures that it is completed first. So a lot of actions which you do speak more about you than the words which you tell. So again, connecting back to the word today, you just say everything. Student council should take the responsibility of controlling every student. Now the oath is taken and all the student council leaders go somewhere. But there's a disciplinary committee who shouts a lot. So just imagine what is the oath you are taking, what is the action that you are doing. Yeah, sorry.
So the very example of the entire event that's being hosted by the students today is a classic example of how you walk the talk, because a lot of other schools might preach about we wanted to convert leaders, we want to create leaders, we wanted to cultivate leadership and all that stuff. But when an opportunity like this comes to host events, it's all them, it's just teachers and all that. Full respect to all of them. But kudos to Meghna's guts and the entire team's guts to allow them to be themselves and give them an opportunity to be innovative. And she's not hesitant to get failures also in some occasions, because I was part of the 5K run, I was part of the Lake Revival activities, I was part of various other initiatives. And nowhere I have seen that spoon feeding element comes into picture when it comes to action and execution. So such things are super crucial for everybody to really talk the walk. It's not just about having a commitment or having intentions. One of my uncles used to say this, right? Saying that, hey, I have been thinking of losing weight for almost 3 years now, but I never lost weight. So it won't happen, right? You have to actually put it in action. So such are the things which makes the results accurate, and what we are expecting is visible. That's my take actually.
So first of all, that lake project that you and Meghna did, please don't try to be modest and don't fish. It has been a stupendous project, and I don't think it's a small feat. It's not easy to clean up that place which was filled with garbage and all the plastic bottles and the riffraff. Take it out and make it a place where fish can really survive. A person, I know there's a family, I think Sridhar was telling me, there is this couple who now live there, and they make a livelihood out of that fish, the fishing. So, I mean, what are we talking about? It's a small feat? No. Now, don't fish for compliments. So that's a great thing. So kudos to Meghna and Charan to be behind her to do that. Like Sunil said, we've all been through, if not hand-holding, at least been around and seen whatever's happened, and how amazing things can happen with that little bit of grit. Why I say little bit is, there is so much grit that happens when there is little that's coming from so many people, and it's a collective effort. So when we talk of oath here and how, just now when Sunil was also saying, talking about weight, because I was just writing those things down. We talk about so much, we say that I want to do this, I want to do that, but end of the day, when your head hits the bed, what have you done with respect to what you wanted to do? So I believed in this. I mean, I think children should probably also, and it worked for me. So it's only out of the experience. Probably different things work for different people. I always put it in black and white. These are the things that I want to do. It could be the daily chores. What are the things that you want to finish for the day? What are the things, you have your short-term goals, long-term goals. So it's a promise you make to yourself. So you say, these are the things I would like to finish. Sometimes you might not finish those. Coming to the small example of the daily chores. I want to meet this one, I want to finish this work, I want to get this thing done. In my case, I want to finish these 5 draftings, I want to meet these 5 people. Maybe I've done only 3 and 2. But I keep it because it's in front of my eyes and I know and it's glaring at me. Bindu, you haven't done this, you're supposed to finish this. So put it, maybe on a blackboard, maybe on a piece of paper, but look at those things and ensure that you finish those things by a certain, give yourself a time frame. I think kids have to do that. And this kind of takes them forward. The other thing is, oath sounds very big. These are all small promises, right? And the promise you make to yourself. So how Charan was saying, these things that you tell yourself that you need to do, but like the plastic bottle on the table when you go someplace, where they're talking about ecology and you're talking about sustainability and environmental protection. Same thing. Pilli kallu mooskuni paal taaguthu thinks nobody's watching. But these people who do these things, there are others watching you. And there is your own conscience. Because like that CCTV camera thing, right? There is you watching yourself doing it. And when you go back and see, you introspect, you would realize that yes, these are the things which I shouldn't have done. Let it not be too late. So when you look at it every day, work on that particular day and try to finish it that day. You feel good about yourself. Be it exercise, be it healthy eating, be it finishing your work, no matter what. Whatever is important to you, try and do that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your answers. It was amazing. It was very informative. The discussion was very informative. Yes, and now we understand that oath and growth go hand in hand. So let's all clap for the panelists once again. May I request Anupama ma'am to escort the panelists back to their seats? I request Shruti, Srijal and Bhavika to take this program ahead.
Thank you, Geeta. That was truly an amazing panel discussion. I once again thank you all panelists. Next lineup program reminds me of an interesting and beautiful line, which says, I'm not interested in power for power's sake, but I'm interested in that is moral, that is right, and that is good, said by Martin Luther King Jr. Today, our newly formed Student Council will take oath in the light of your presence to strengthen our ideals and pave a path towards progress and prosperity. The investiture ceremony is one of the first momentous occasions of the school where the newly elected and selected members of the school senate are officially vested with their powers and positions. Students of today are the visionaries and torchbearers of tomorrow. When we develop personality, skill and mind, we develop responsible human beings with leadership qualities. Today, as we celebrate the investiture of our new student councillors, we would also like to thank our student leaders in the student council. It is good to remember that leaders grow, they are not made.
So to begin with the investiture ceremony, I would like to request Dr. Manjula Anagani and Allu Venkatesh sir to confer a head boy and head girl with sashes, badges and school flag. I would like Anupama ma'am to confer them. The school student council is led by the head girl Tirtha Vannam and head boy Aradhya Chundru. The young leaders took the mantle of responsibilities. I request Dr. Manjula Anagani to confer her head girl.
మేడం కొంచెం బ్యాక్ సైడ్ ఉంటారు మేడం కొంచెం బ్యాక్ సైడ్.
Can you all hear for them? I would request Allu Venkatesh sir to confer her head boy. Big round of applause for them. I request Manjula ma'am to hand over the flag to the school head girl. They firmly believe that every duty is holy and devotion to duty is the highest form of worship to God. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now I request Ms. Bindu Naidu ma'am to confer our Health, Safety and Hygiene Secretary Mansa Vanta with sachet, badge and placard. Ma'am, I request you to confer Health, Safety and Hygiene Vice Captain Chaitya with sachet badge. I request Charan sir to confer our Cultural Secretary Vaishnavi Ala with sachet, badge and placards.
I request Charan sir to confer the Vice Captain Kavishri with Sashay badge.
పాప కొంచెం వెనక తిరగమ్మా.
Thank you, sir. Now I take this privilege to call Mr. Ujjwal Singh sir to confer our Sports Secretary Gaurav Chowdhury with placard, sachet and badge.
తను ముందు రమ్మను. బాయ్ కొంచెం వెనక తిరుగు బాబు. ఈయన అనమాట.
Confer the Vice Captains Nikhil and T. Dhanush with sashes and badges. Now I'd like to call upon Sri Charan Lakaraju sir to confer our Emerald House Captain Bhavya Samhita with
ముందు రమ్మా జరుగు. బేబీ కొంచెం బ్యాక్ వెళ్ళి ముందు రా.
Sorry, may I request Praveen Dorna sir to confer our Emerald House Captain Bhavya Samhita with sachet, badge and house flag. Thank you, sir. Next, I request Sunil Satyamulu, sir, to confer Shravvi, the Vice Captain, with sachet and badge. Next, I call Harita Kadragada, ma'am. Next, I call Sunil Satyamulu, sir, to confer Ruby House Captain with public sachet, badges and flag. And I also request sir to confer Kusum, the Vice Captain, with sachets and badges. you, sir. Now I call upon Harita Karjagada ma'am to confer this, and Prem sir to confer Manik Vikram, the captain and the vice captain, Sashi and Taj.
మేడం కొంచెం టర్న్ అవ్వండి, మేడం టర్న్ అవ్వండి కొంచెం. ఇటు సైడ్ రా కొంచెం.
నేను అమ్మాయిని బ్యాక్ చేస్తున్నాను.
అదే మేడం రొటేట్ అవ్వండి కొంచెం. ఓకే.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
I request Surya Prakash Puspati sir to confer our middle school ambassador, Hansika, with sashes, badges and placards.
పాప కొంచెం వెనక తిరగమ్మా, కొంచెం బ్యాక్ సైడ్. Cameraman aru.
Has announced the beginning of the investiture ceremony. The day is brought into being as an assurance of a bright future as the new office bearers get ready to be invested. This is nothing less than a treat for us.
The most anxiously awaited moment has finally arrived, the oath-taking ceremony. I request Sudha ma'am to kindly lead our student council to be sworn in the newly formed school cabinet. I request all to stand and kindly place your hands on your heart for the oath ceremony.
Bend the flag. Bend the flag.
I request everyone to please stand.
Madam.
One second. Live.
For the oath ceremony. I promise myself to be so strong that nothing can disturb my peace of mind. To talk health, happiness,
prosperity to every person I meet. To make all my friends feel like there is something in them. To look at the sunny side of everything and make optimism come true. I think only of the best, to work only for the best, and expect only the best. To be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as I am about my own. To forget the mistakes of the past and to press on the greater achievements of the future. To wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every person I meet a smile. To give so much time to the improvement of myself that I have no time to criticize others. To be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha ma'am. Once again, congratulations to all the captains. It is indeed a defining moment for the entire campus. I believe that these young leaders will uphold the values and this school and keep honoring the global school flag flying high. I request everyone to please be seated. I believe that these young leaders
Let's all hear for the new student council. A big round of applause, please. May I request Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir to kindly felicitate Bindu Naidu ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. So without taking much of your time, I would like to call upon Hemashri, Prashant and Rishiraj to take this program ahead.
Satyashree, Shruti and Bhavika, you are truly rock. I once again congratulate the newly formed Student Council. Now it is the time to welcome the chief guests and guests of honors. Kind words are short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. A worthy saying of Mother Teresa. Now I request Rishiraj to welcome the gathering.
I, Rishiraj, heartily welcome you all on behalf of Fountainhead Global School and Junior College for the prestigious occasion of our school celebrating the Global Parents Day. It is very difficult to believe that what was once dreamt is being fulfilled now. The idea of putting the foundation of an educational institution is so inspiring. What was once planted as a sapling is now all grown into a large tree. Here, I can see a blend of extraordinary and smart students and their parents who have made this day arrive. This year, I find it to be my pleasure to address all our parents and my fellow friends, who are the young minds of today and the responsible citizens of tomorrow. I also welcome all our dedicated teachers team. So here, I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all the dear parents who are constantly extending their support and love to pupils, as well as faculty members of this school. Taking our morning further, and to begin with this occasion, I, on behalf of everyone present here, heartily welcome the Chief Guest, the Right Honourable Nigel Adams, MP, Minister of State, Government of UK, and Dr. Andrew Fleming, British Deputy High Commissioner for the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. The guests of honour, Dr. Manjula Anagani, Jayesh Ranjan Sir, Principal Secretary IT, Ujjwal Singh Sir, Allu Venkatesh Sir, Haritha Katragadda Ma'am, and all our mentors and the speakers called the dignitaries of the priceless function today. I once again welcome you all. Thank you.
Wow, that was so simply superb, Rishi. Thank you for the welcome. Light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity, as sunlight expels the darkness of mind. Similarly, blessings bring in our life prosperity and happiness. To make this morning a blessed one and invoke the Almighty by kindling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. For seeking the choicest blessings for the same, I invite our chief guest, Mr. Nigel Adams, MP, Minister of State, Government of UK, and Dr. Andrew Fleming, British Deputy High Commissioner, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Guests of honor, Dr. Manjula Anagani, Jayesh Ranjan Sir, Anjani Kumar Sir, Ujjwal Singh Sir, Allu Venkatesh Sir, Haritha Katragadda Ma'am, and all the other dignitaries, Dr. Manasa Musnuri, Bindu Naidu Ma'am, Sri Charan Lakkaraju Sir, Praveen Dorna Sir, Dr. Srinivasa Bhaskar Chaganti, Surya Prakash Party Sir, Manjulata Kalamani Ma'am, Surya Ganesh Valmiki Sir, Vishali Reddy Uyala Ma'am, Javed Sir, Gopi Krishna Sir, Sunil Satyavolu Sir, Abhimanika Ma'am, and Aslam Hirani Sir to kindle the lamp. I request Pragna of Intermediate Second Year to sing a song.
दीप ज्योति परम ज्योति दीप ज्योति जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापं दीप ज्योति नमोस्तुते शुभं करोतु कल्याणं आरोग्यं सुखसम्पदः द्वेषबुद्धि विनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोस्तुते आत्मज्योति प्रदीप्ताय ब्रह्मज्योति नमोस्तुते ब्रह्मज्योति प्रदीप्ताय गुरुज्योति नमोस्तुते गजवदना वेणुवे गजवदना वेणुवे गौरी तनय द्विजगवन्दितने सुजनर पोरेवने गजवदना वेणुवे पाशाङ्कुशधर परम पवित्र पाशाङ्कुशधर परम पवित्र मूषिकवाहन मुनिजन प्रेम मूषिकवाहन मुनिजन प्रेम गजवदना वेणुवे मोददि निन्नय पादव तोरो मोददि निन्नय पादव तोरो साधु वंदितने आदरदिंदने सरसि जनाभश्री पुरंदर विठलना सरसि जनाभश्री पुरंदर विठलना निरुतने नयुवंटे दय माडो निरुतने नयुवंटे दय माडो गजवदना वेणुवे गौरी तनय त्रिजगवंदितने सुजनर पोरेवने गजवदना वेणुवे
మొన్ననే ఆటో పోక కాకుండా చేయించాను.
ఏం కాదులేదు కింద చిన్న ఇటే కదా.
Thank you all our mentors, guests of honor and chief guests, and request you all to be seated in your respective places. Thank you Pragya for the beautiful and meaningful song.
Before we move forward, I request all the dance students to come here. I once again request all the dance participants to come here.
To take this opportunity to call upon one of our chief guests, the Deputy High Commissioner to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. His role includes promoting business and trade between the UK and India's Telugu region and connecting with people on local issues. He participated in Swachh Bharat initiatives to clean up Hyderabad and encouraged others to join. As the head of the Deputy High Commission, he has supported projects on community cohesion and interfaith, countering violence against women, human trafficking, child sexual abuse, fake news, and youth empowerment. May I request our head boy Aditya and head girl Teeta and Anupama ma'am to escort Dr. Andrew Fleming, British Deputy High Commissioner, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, onto the dais. humble request to our chief guest, Dr. Andrew, to address the gathering.
Sapake Namaskaramu. Good morning to everybody, parents, children, guests. Let me stand on the existing protocol set. It's really quite a pleasure to be here on the eve of Global Parents' Day. And, I'm also delighted to be here with our UK Minister, Nigel Adams, who is making his first visit to Hyderabad and in fact his second visit to India in a decade. And you'll hear from him later, but he's been a school governor in a couple of schools in the past, and I'm sure he'll have an interesting perspective to share. But I want to share a little bit about my own perspective. And one of the things the Minister and I share is that our journey to our respective positions, roles, is quite unconventional perhaps to those that you might think about. We both left school age 17. Neither of us went to a university. But through other routes, other challenges, through work experience, through exploring the world, we've managed to find our ways here, so our paths are converging on your happy day. And I think, the point behind that is that a global perspective really does matter. And I believe it's really, really critical to a holistic education. But the route to which you get that global perspective really will depend on your means, and it will depend on what excites and interests you, and particularly to address parents in a country where people aspire for their children to be doctors or engineers or many other things even before they've been born. Actually, it's what the child wants to do. It's what the child is excited about. Let your children dream. And if you let your children dream, if you let your children imagine, a young mind is one of the most incredible things. Ultimately, they will choose the path where they will choose their fullest potential. I'll take the example of my son. My wife's over here. My oldest son, when he was 4, he wanted to be a pilot. Lots of young boys want to be pilots. My wife was a little bit upset. She said, I've always imagined he'll be a doctor. I said, oh, well, let him dream, let him want to be a pilot. There's nothing wrong with it. And he wanted to be a pilot until he was 12. And then one day when he was 12, he came to me, he says, Daddy, I've always wanted to be a pilot. And I said, well, yeah, you have sons since you were 4. He says, I still want to fly planes, but I don't want to be a pilot. There's no long-term career future. No, I want to be a CEO. I want to be a CEO of Emirates Airline. That was his favorite airline. Sorry, it's not British Airways, but I want to be a CEO of Emirates Airline, not just a pilot for Emirates Airlines, which was his original ambition. And then he said, and if I'm going to be a CEO, I need to understand how the world works. I need to understand economics, so I want to focus on economics. And since he's been 12 to now, he's been dead set that he's going to focus on economics. Now he's in one of the best schools in the UK with a scholarship, studying economics alongside physics and mathematics for his international baccalaureate hires. And his aspiration is to go to Cambridge or one of the other great universities in the UK. Whether he makes it or not, his mother and I are very proud of him, and I believe he's chosen that path because that's what he wants to do. It's his decision. We're just his spiritual guides. And so I commend this approach to all parents about nurturing and nourishing and helping your child to gain a sense of the world. And I think at this wonderful school, even by walking in, seeing the vibrancy, seeing the library, you can feel and see that this is a school that sets out to try and do and achieve that. And I'm very proud that Meghana was able to spend 8 years of her teaching career in the UK. And at least some of what happens on this campus comes from her experience of teaching and learning in the UK. And Meghana, of course, is one of so many people that are part of the living bridge between the UK and India, the living bridge that your Prime Minister Modi has spoken about so many times. And this network of people is also so important to me, my office, our network across India, our visiting minister, and everybody in the UK. And so I think these are the issues that I wanted to share today. Try to also ensure your child has the support to make their difficult decisions, but not, you know, the hardcore directions. Trying to help encourage them to choose healthy relationships. And, you know, recognize the fact that disagreements happen everywhere. Disagreements happen in families, disagreements happen between friends, but they're healthy in many ways. And the only way in which you can overcome difference is through not conflict, but dialogue. Dialogue is the key. And so having healthy dialogues in your home, having healthy dialogues in the school is a fantastic start to life, because you need to have those skills when you go on to the workplace, when you become a leader. So I hope all of you will enjoy the rest of today's events. Minister and I will be here just until 11 o'clock. But I look forward to seeing the other performances and activities that are planned between now and then. And I wish all of you, once again, a very happy Global Parents' Day for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Meghana ma'am and Sridhar sir to felicitate.
Moving forward, I would like to show you the journey of our Fountainhead Global School and Junior College. Fasten your seatbelts to get into this journey. It's time to know what Fountainhead stands for. May I request the technical team to present the AV, please?
లేదంట దీపం కొంచెం పక్కన బ్రో 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 వైట్ లేదా వైట్ లేదా
This is what we stand for. I'm proud to be a student of this institute. Thank you for the evening. Now I request students of class 6 and above to perform a dance.
బాగానే ఉంది
ఇది ఈ బ్యాటరీ పెడితే
ప్రోగ్రాంకి వచ్చాలి.
Check, check.
ఏంది వంకర వస్తుంది ఒకసారి తీవా
Check. Dear mom and dad, thank you for being there. Thank you for all your care. Thank you for your advice. Thank you for being so nice. Thank you for your guardians. Thank you for your patience. And thank you for your perfect DNA. And thank you for your letting me grow up my way. Thank you for everything.
Okay, now listen up. We're gonna tell you a story. Story about four guys. Tom, Rob, Mom, and Pop.
Every time I'm feeling down, you pick me up, saying, oh, oh. And when my heart is feeling empty out, you fill my cup, saying, now, oh. I just wanna say thank you for the way you love me. I wanna say thank you for the way you love me. I just wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you, just wanna say we go, verse 2. I'm grateful for the way you've been a friend to me. Sing. And even in the deepest, darkest night, you help me see. Sing it right now. I just wanna say thank you for the way you love me. I wanna say thank you for the way you love me. I just wanna say thank you for the way you love me. I wanna say thank you. Just wanna say thank you.
I'll never take for granted how greatly I have been blessed. For when it comes to parents, Mom and Dad, you are the best. You nurtured and protected me and taught me with great care. And every time I have need you, you were always there. Thank you.
Can we hear for all the students, please?
ఫోటో తీసావా తెలియదు అది
Wow, that was a truly wonderful tribute to all our parents. Kudos to all my dear fellow friends. Let's hear for them. Thank you, friends. That was a heart-touching performance. Taking this emotion ahead, I request Bilwa to come up with a representation for climate change.
అయ్యి లోపల బయట తీయమని వీడియో కూడా తీయమంది ఓకే మేడం ఉందా తిప్పాను యాప్లో తిప్పుతున్నాం.
A very good morning to everyone present here. As we all know, our fellow students took an ambitious initiative to revive a lake. We also have a mascot for the lake called Cheru. While reviving the lake, I realized very early on that we needed a representative for the something that people could understand and be empowered with view to the environment. That was when I came up with Cheru, the personification of the lake, our mascot. She would get stronger and healthier the more we revive the lake. Our mission still continues, and Cheru is a representative for the conservation of all water bodies. There is never an ending for a good cause. On Environment Day, I challenged all the students to plant a sapling near the lake to help improve the biodiversity around it. We made environmental conservation a noble deed. Let's complete this challenge for the future of our own generation. May I request all my fellow friends to join me. Can I request all the students to join me on the stage?
వీడియో కూడా
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, Durga, I already took the challenge. Thank you for sharing the initiative of Cheru. Moving ahead, the insight and experience of known personalities is a valuable source of inspiration and motivation. And learning from successful leaders is a fantastic way to grow. Today, we have a very powerful, knowledgeable, inspiring leader amongst us as the star of today's occasion. All of us. I feel honored to have with us the Honourable Chief Guest, His Excellency, Right Honourable Nigel Adams, MP, Minister of State, Government of UK. He hardly needs introduction. His distinguished work in numerous capacities speaks for itself. He is one of the most celebrated foreign service dignitaries. He was previously the Minister for Asia at the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office. He was first appointed as a Minister of State at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office and the Development for International Development. He was first elected as the Conservative MP for Serbia and NC. He was previously Minister of State at the Department for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport. He was appointed parliamentary under Secretary of State for Communities and Local Government at the Wales Office and Assistant Government Whip. He was also Government Whip, Lord Commissioner of HM Treasury in 2018. Let's put our hands together and request the audience to stand in due respect and applaud for Right Honourable Nigel Adams. I request our school head boy, head girl and Anupama ma'am to escort our chief guest, Right Honourable Nigel Adams, to the dais.
Wow, good morning. Thank you very much indeed, everybody, and what a fabulous welcome. And can I just say, it's a huge privilege for me to be here at Fountainhead School, and it's wonderful to see all the parents here as well. As a parent of 4 children myself, I know coming to Parents' Day is always a very unnerving experience, but it's a great privilege to be here, and you are extremely lucky to have your children at such a fabulous school. And I was struck by lots of the messaging around the school, and I noticed in this world of social media, hashtag is so important, isn't it, parents? And there's a hashtag down here saying lead by example. And this is exactly what you have here, and I've been incredibly impressed by your founder and principal, Meghana, who is literally leading by example and providing a superb education for everybody who comes through this school. So thank you ever so much, Principal, for your leadership. So I won't talk for too long, because I know it's a warm day, it's a Saturday, but what I will do is share with you a little bit of my education journey. And it's so important. In fact, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom was asked what his priorities were for, it's turned around. There we go. A former Prime Minister of our country was asked what his priorities were in government, and he said 3 words: education, education, education. It's so important to have that start in life that builds those foundations for individuals and people to become good citizens. My experience at school wasn't terribly successful. In fact, I was asked to leave school because I didn't put the effort in. I was perhaps not the best student. I didn't necessarily enjoy the experience, the academic experience. I much preferred to play cricket or football or rugby and put my efforts into those pastimes. But the key thing is, if you've got an opportunity to do extracurricular activities, this is a message to the children: please take them. Please play sport, because you learn so much from as working from a team when you're playing sport, and it's not just good for you physically, but it's good for you mentally as well. So I was able to prosper at school by being captain of various sports teams. What also I would like to say is, when it comes to opportunity, this is so crucial, and that's why this school is so impressive. Opportunity should be for all. It shouldn't be where you're from, because of where you're from or what your parents do. It should be literally opportunity for every single child should have the same opportunities as every other child. My mother was a cleaner at a school like this. My father was a school caretaker or a janitor at a school. But they were absolutely 100% behind me in terms of supporting what I wanted to do in life, because they wanted, for me, the best in life. They wanted me to aspire to achieve more in life. So having that parental support is so important. And to echo the message of Dr. Andrew earlier, my message to parents is let your child follow their dreams and support them, and they will flourish. And that is so key, it's so important. Not every child will turn out to be a doctor or an accountant. You know, some children will do incredibly well in life. They may, God forbid, end up in politics. I wouldn't recommend that necessarily as a career choice, but it's a noble career choice. They may wish to be a nurse. They may wish to be a cricketer. I'm sure there are some budding international sportsmen and girls at this particular school. So my message is very clear. Support your children, let them follow their dreams. You are extremely lucky to be at such a great school with such great leadership, with the staff. I've been very impressed by the pupils, the talent which is on display here at Fountainhead. It's been a real eye-opener for me, Meghana, to come to your wonderful school, and I'm sure it will go on to even greater success. It's been my privilege to be here. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful Global Parents celebration in the next couple of days. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the super fantastic speech. Request Vikna ma'am and Sridhar sir to welcome and felicitate Right Honorable Nigel Adams.
This one.
Thank you, sir.
It's time to thank our chief guests as they will be leaving for the other appointments. On behalf of our school, I extend a hearty vote of thanks to our chief guest, Mr. Nigel Adams, Minister of State, Government of UK, and Dr. Andrew Fleming, British Deputy High Commissioner for the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, who spared their time for their busiest schedule to grace this occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. My gratitude to all the speakers for gracing this occasion and sharing their opinions today. Thank you very much. Can we stand as a chief guest, sir?
Students, can I request you to step a little that side? Yes, please. Thank you so much.
I would like to request Alu Venkatesh sir to address the gathering. And I request Anupama ma'am to excuse sir.
That's the future, isn't it? Oh yes, sorry, mate. This is a gift. Every Friday, going back to the first place, Walpole, to the current Boris Johnson. author of the book. It's personally signed it to you.
Wow. Thank you so
Hope
much.
you enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
This is some tea. Some great British tea, all the way from Cornwall to government. Hopefully you got the tea.
Absolutely. She's big time a tea favorite. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. What a wonderful experience.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. She will stay in touch with you for
I know
that.
you know how to get hold of us. So.
Yes, exactly. We're to be able to do that. Yeah.
But thank you so much. Great to see you. You should be very proud of what you did.
Big support for all of us. I brought him from the UK to settle down back in India.
Good stuff. Thank you. Cheerio. Thank you.
Can I ask you just 1 minute because I got
burdened by going to school for 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. So anything and everything, every child that you see here is in and around within 3 to 4 kilometers from here. So everybody knows everybody. And the good part is to put in money, you know how they come to school. One of the parent drops or somehow they get here, they take their own transport, they come here. So there is a chance that every parent knows every other parent at least visually. They would have seen each other. Like when I went to school, I knew who my other friend's mother was, or my other friend's father was. And that's how these relationships have remained. I'm still in touch with my friend's mother and father, and I was able to identify them. Similarly, I'm sure this is a very, very unique experience. You might not understand what I'm trying to tell you today, but what is very special about Global Fountainhead School here is it is built around the community. And let me tell you the strength of the community. Today, if they were able to take up a lake project, which is around here, and it is the community that came together, they understood it is their neighborhood, it is their lake, and they repaired the whole lake because they took it as their own. So this is the power of community, and this is something very special to this school. I wish a lot more schools do this, and that way at least good communities gets formed around good schools. This thought I thought I'd share this, but it is what it is. Thank you. That's all I got to say. Yeah, I'm requested to stay here apparently.
That was truly a very impactful and meaningful message to all of us. Thank you very much, sir. I request Marisa Musneri ma'am to felicitate Alu Venkatesh sir. We request Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir to please join. Check. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am. To take the program ahead, I request Sahit Vinti and Geeta to take over. Over to them.
Thank you, Hema. Moving forward, I take this opportunity to invite a legend who herself is a best book. She is a Padma Shri awardee. Her achievements include working on ergonomics of women involving newer techniques in laparoscopy and minimally invasive surgery. She came up with a new entry technique to make the surgery less complicated and easier for the surgeon. Since then, she has performed more than 10,000 laparoscopic surgeries in gynecology. She has initiated an advocacy campaign called Suyosha, a Perfect Woman, to address all aspects of women's health, child abuse, health education of adolescent girls, and anti-hysterectomy campaigning. For avoidable surgeries through regular awareness campaigns in TV, print media, schools, and public forums. She has co-founded an NGO, Pratyusha Support, working on women empowerment and medical support. Wish come true for HIV-infected kids. Say yes to health and free health checkups in slums, orphanages, and schools in collaboration with Live Life Hospitals. I request Sudha ma'am to escort.
Thank you, Ida, for this wonderful introduction. It's been a privilege to be part of your fraternity of parents and the children, especially on the Global Parents Day. I've been listening to so many things which are going around, and I said, okay, let me take the other side of the mirror. Why should it be always, why should the parents be supporting only for the children? What exactly goes through in the parents' mind? As a parent, I do understand the insecurity which you're going to face when everybody says, just allow them to dream and go, whatever it is. We all want to have secure life. We want something for us. We all think about our children, and we think they should be safe, secure, without any problems which we faced. So somebody comes and say, I want to be a movie maker with something which nobody knows is going to be a hit or flop. And when we do something like engineering or a doctor is going to give a 90% security rate, what would you choose? So I'm sure the parent would always say, take something which will have rosy roti ka sawal hai, jo ghar mein rehna hai. But saying that, let me tell you the other side of the mirror. The next generation is the most intelligent generation. The reason is they're sure of so many things. They're not sure of so many things too. They're not sure what they want to be. They want to experiment with so many things. But they're sure of what they don't want to be, and they're going to learn it by their experiences. Again, everybody started telling their anecdotes, so let me tell you the story of my daughter. When she came to 10th, she came and asked me, should I take a BPC or an MPC? Everybody wants me to be a doctor. I said, no. You just go for a week to young doctors thing which we have in Yashoda those times. So she finished 1 week of that and she said, I'm not going to be a doctor. And she asked me one more question before making a decision. She asked me, do I have to study 11 years to be a doctor? I did not want to scare her. So I said, minimum 11 years. She said, no way I'm going to do that. So that one down. Next, she finished taking maths, physics, chemistry, economics in +1, +2 from Indus. Then she went to do computer science engineering in San Francisco, University of SU. 2 days, and she said, I'm not made to it, so out. So computer science engineering is out. I'm like, okay, you are there. I cannot make any influence on you, so do whatever you want. She took economics. After first semester, she says, I don't think I'm made for economics, so let me change. Done. Finally, she has only one chance to change, so only 3 subjects they can change on this. So finally, she finished from finance. Then she says, it's okay, but I don't think I can be an investment banker or something like that. So let me do something else. Then the COVID came. She was here for 6 months. So she did from IIT the certification course about the robotics, AI in this banking or whatever, not banking, it's the business analytics. Right now she is doing her master's in Babson's in business analytics. She'll be finishing in December. Still she says it is her second best. She still has to see what she wants. So one thing I understood is they know what they don't want to do and we just have to stand and take it. We have no say. So if anybody says it's the parents who is molding the child's life, I think in the future we are in for a rude shock. This is for the parents, so be prepared for anything what your child is going to tell. Only thing I tell my daughter is as long as you come back and say I'm not getting married to the same gender, it is fine by me. So that's what is the thing we have to be accepting it. The second thing I want to tell the students, I'm very distinct, I hope they're anything, I'm only seeing the parents there, not students, except for you both standing over here. So one thing I saw here is the confidence with which you talk. So I'm very proud of all of you that you believe in yourself. That is something which is important, and be vocal. Never ever accept what the things, but please be vocal. Then only you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. I'm sure all of you dream and everybody wants to do things, and it's not going to be an easy task. It's much better because the globe is now a flat where, you know, when something comes somewhere other part of the world, we do get it here. But still, believe in yourself. And I always tell people, it is your attitude which will make a difference. And knowledge is a superpower. Everybody sitting in the front line is knowledgeable. They all achieve because of the knowledge they have in each and every field. I'm sorry, I'm only looking at you both because I'm really not seeing any student over here to tell me that. And Meghna has already told that, not Meghna, I think somebody has already told that never lose an opportunity. Anything comes, just grab it and then work on it. And finally, there is definitely no shortcut to success. Your माँ बाप का पैसा कुछ ना भी रहने दो, हमारे पीछे लाइन शुरू तो नहीं होता आजकल. So it has to be that you have to do that 97% hard work and 3% luck will come only with your attitudes. Like you said actually about the temperament and the attitude when you're talking. So that's it for me today. All the best. Enjoy your Global Parent Day.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I request you to stay back as Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir will be felicitating you. Fleming to come onto the dais. I request Vidya ma'am to escort ma'am onto the dais. Sridhar sir is going to be felicitating Van.
DJ Magnifique.
Sir to come onto the dais. I request Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir to felicitate Charan sir.
Next, we have a TEDx speaker, education futurist, and has more than 25 years of industry experience. An alumnus of IIM Bangalore, Ujjwal Sir has built digital capabilities and scaled innovation globally. Prior to this, he worked as a Vice President, Global Product Organization at Pearson PLC, and also held senior positions in organizations such as Indus Balaji Private Equity Fund, iDiscovery Education, Hughes Communications, and IIT and Tata Infotech. He has an avid interest in exploring progressive learning through the medium of technology interfaces and his deep desire to shape the future of education. I request our head boy Aditya and Anupama ma'am to escort Ujjwal Singh sir onto the dais.
Lightly warm welcome. The weather is very, very warm anyway. I'm not going to be saying the same set of things. I'm here for 2 minutes. I've been on the parent side multiple times because of my own daughters. I know how warm that is, and maybe sometimes okay, sometimes not okay. But I'm not going to tell you anything which is confining to say that don't go to school, you'll become a politician. I'm a second generation learner. My grandmom couldn't sign. She's an illiterate. My mom is 10th pass. I really struggled. Small cities to study, go up to IIM, did something in life which is, I think, is good enough for my generation. And I really think that study is the easiest way to get success. Study is the easiest way to get success. We work with multiple celebrities. Ask any other celebrity. Any other profession is more difficult. If you are going to go into sports, it's far more competitive. If you are going to movies, it's far more competitive. Study is the easiest way to get success. One. A lot of people say, oh, you just ask your child to go somewhere. Let me tell you, hard work is the only way. Whosoever you are you an actor, chef, or a scientist, or an engineer, or a doctor, hard work is the only way. There is no easy success for anybody. So my 2 things, value education. School definitely is doing a lot, but value education at home. There's only way your child has the easiest way to succeed, whatever is the definition of success. And second, if you or the child is not going to work hard, however easy it might look from seeing somebody else, there is no success. So hard work is the only way for success. That's what I want to share. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here.
I request Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir to felicitate.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful words. To continue, may I request Bilwa, the moderator, for the second panel discussion to take over.
Thank you, Safit. Before moving ahead, I have a question for everyone. It's about social media versus creativity. Is social media killing our creativity? To know more about this, I would like to call our panel members onto the desk. Firstly, I would like to call the winner of Mrs. Universe Intelligence 2017. She is presently a fitness coach and motivational speaker. She is an inspiration to all the females. She also achieved Mrs. India, giving it a shot with consistent persuasion from friends and relatives alike. And she won the titles Mrs. India Fitness, Mrs. India Talent and Mrs. India South, was nothing short of a life-changing experience. For the Mrs. India Talent she won, Abhimanika ma'am performed a dance act that highlighted the plight of a girl child. She is a single parent. She enjoys dancing, training people more than ever, and her world still revolves around her son Tavish. She says that, quote, it took me a lot of struggle to be where I am now. I think I know what makes me unique now. I request that Saujanya ma'am. Yeah, thank you ma'am for escorting ma'am to the dais. For our next panelist, he prefers organic living. He works for IT Services, Strategy and Operations Leader with Global Delivery Express. He has 20 plus years of rich experience in delivering complex services and solutions using multiple technologies. He has social exposure and information security and telecom domains, dedicated to maintaining a reputation built on quality, service and uncompromising ethics. He is our super guru. I request Vidya ma'am to escort Surya Prakash Bispati sir onto the desk. Moving on to the next panel member. He is currently working on an all-in-one community management SaaS platform that helps you run, manage, engage, and grow your community into your own private space, hassle-free. He is a business technology analyst with Deloitte Consulting, business development lead with a premier robotics education provider franchisee in India, and also a lead consultant for a non-profit initiative of building the foundation for one of the largest universities in India. He has strong skills in entrepreneurship, corporate strategy, business case development, payment technologies, leadership management, and innovation. Passionate about technology, marketing, and management, and entrepreneurship. I request Vidya ma'am to escort Praveen Dorna sir to the desk.
next panelist is an enterprising and resourceful Hyderabad-based journalist with over 18 years of mainstream English media, both print and online, experience with proven expertise in content, feature news, writing, editing, rewriting, content curation, handling CMS, social media management. She is also founder of Rice Bucket Challenge, a Desi version of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which garnered about 200,000 kgs of rice to the needy. Also recipient of the JFW Women Achiever Award in 2014, Karmavira Chakra Gold 2015, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award, and many more accolades on her crown. I request, thank you ma'am for escorting Manjulata Kalanidhi ma'am onto the desk. Thank everyone for joining me on this discussion. I'm sure we'll have a very informative conversation. So the topic of our discussion is social media versus creativity. So let's start this discussion. First question to Surya sir. How can we as students earn money on the internet by doing what we like, be it art or podcast or dance or singing?
To make money from the internet.
How do we students make money from on the internet by doing things that we like?
Okay, I'll just break it down. I might have more questions than answers really. But you're trying to make money. You should always try to make money for a purpose. So I think first is, what's your purpose? If you're a student, why would you want to make money? That I think should establish it. Second, if a person is paying money, they're paying money for a value, either it is a product or a service. Right? So as a student, all you can think about is how do you create that value? You're not really creating money, but you have to always work on honing your skills, right? Building that experience. So as a student, I'm not sure if you should be aiming to create, make money. We should be aiming to build experience, skills, craft, right? Being good at what you do, what you enjoy. So I would try to probably put this question in a different way. Does it make sense?
Yes, that was interesting. Praveen sir, like in online, sometimes in especially some websites, our anonymity is guaranteed. So do you think that this online anonymity is a boon or a bane?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question. Given a chance, I think everyone wants to be anonymous because everyone has multiple personalities, right, online. So it's not about whether it's a boon or bane, it's about what purpose are you using it for, right? Because a lot of times when people have a face, a discussion takes a different turn versus when you are kind of blinded, right? So a lot of people are using it in multiple ways. So ideally, like, we should live in a world where people can own themselves and, you know, communicate what they truly think, right? So I think in a way it's good, provided you use it in the right way, right? Like you want to answer a question anonymously, yes. But if you're using it to do cyberbullying or do some crime, then, you know, it's not good, right? So I think probably we can discuss more, but yeah, on an overall front, I think it's about how do you use it. That's what I want to just convey.
Thank you, sir. So moving on to Abhimanika ma'am. So every single individual is given the right to privacy. So it's even guaranteed on the internet now. So what do you think? What is your take on this? Is it is it a good thing, or like should there be some boundaries to it?
Hi everyone. Very good morning. I don't rather it's getting afternoon now.
I know everybody is getting a little impatient. We're going to finish this very quickly. But I just want to grab everybody's attention here. Can you all just say hi to me from there? Like, not just waving your hand, but just say it louder. I can understand because these kids have been running around and doing a lot of work, but what happened to the parents? You're supposed to be super enthusiastic for your kids here. Can you shout a little more, hoot a little more for your children here? Okay, let's do it this way. I mean, this side, parents, I know these people are less in number, but can I hear this hi from you all at the count of 3? Yes? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Very bad. Surya here is doing it. Okay, now this side, we'll see. Let's see who does it better. Okay, at the count of 3, 2, 1. You're better. Thank you so much. I'll take that these people love me more than this side. I'm just joking. Thank you so much, and first of all, thank you Megha and the entire organization for having me here. And moving on to this question here, privacy. We all need privacy at some point in our life, in our personal life, in our relationships, in the family and profession. And when it comes to the internet, of course, we all need that privacy too. Well, people, when you also look at the public figures, the celebrities, you all feel that their life is out there. But honestly, they also need that space, and we need to draw a line to that. Even if we admire somebody, do not get into a space where you make them feel uncomfortable. And you as a person, if you are a social media person creating content on the internet, make sure you don't hurt the sentiments or the emotions of the other people. So that is also very important. And also coming to the other factors, the other things that you have asked, everything is good on social media. Everything looks fancy, everything looks colorful, everybody's life looks better than our own life. But trust me, everybody is going through that struggle to reach that stage. To all the parents here, please make sure you monitor your children. Also, do not stop them completely from using social media, because there are both ways of looking at it. There is so much to learn through social media, and there is a lot of negativity as well. But if you help them choose what is right for them, it will definitely lead them to the right direction. So also make sure you tell your children that they need to draw that line and not cross a certain limit, especially with the teenage kids who are here. You're all very curious and enthusiastic about doing a lot of things on social media, putting out everything, and also commenting on certain profiles. You might think that is okay, but to the other person that might not be okay. So make sure whatever you do on social media, you have to be a little careful what you speak about. You have the freedom to talk, but also make sure you're sensible enough to do that. I hope I made some sense here.
Yes, ma'am. That was really...
Thank you.
That's a really nice take on this. Actually, there's a continuation for this question. So, to Surya sir, actually, since ma'am talked about that the right to privacy is very important, sometimes, it kind of clashes with another right, which is guaranteed. It's called, the right to information. So, doesn't it contradict it? Doesn't it contradict the right to a person's privacy? Is it all black and white?
I'm not aware of right to privacy on the internet. Okay? I think it's a choice you're making. See, the right to privacy is not on the internet per se. Right to privacy is your life, I'm aware of. Okay? So when you are on the internet, you are the owner of your actions. Right? So you are making a choice. What you need to do is make an informed choice. How much of information you want to put out there, how much of it you want it to be accessible, and how much of it you want to proactively share. So you should be in control of what you're doing. I think the question is about awareness and information rather than rights and right to information. Right to information is about you as a citizen of the country having access to what the government is doing. Sometimes there are things that are quite complex. When you take it on the internet, it's a completely different. You need to apply a different thinking template. So I think the answer that you're looking for is actually more questions and more research, probably more clarity in what you really want to see. Is it black and white or grey? Or I don't really know. But my take on right to privacy and information is absolutely clear.
Thank you, sir. That was kind of unexpected. Thank you very much. So, Manjulata ma'am, you're an experienced journalist, and so this is a hypothesis-based question. Let's say that you've obtained a huge scoop from something that should spread for the greater good of the public, but this information could compromise your own safety and probably the safety of your loved ones. So, how do you go ahead with it?
So as journalists, we are often taught how to handle such situations. So as journalists, we go through a certain training to understand how you can put out the truth without exposing yourself to some danger. So probably, there are always ways to, like you said, I have a big, and I'm going to put it out, and that will put my family in danger. Then probably you will still go ahead with it, because a journalist lives for that kind of a scoop, and you'll probably not take your name, not even put out your organization's name. So we have those kind of things. Probably goes by the newspaper's name, and then everybody across the board is told not to reveal who it is. So it's as simple as that. Just being smart, and we can do that.
Wow, that's amazing, ma'am. So, yeah, since we're done with the individual questionnaires, this is a question that I pose to almost all the panelists. Since there are a large percent of the population is on social media, so how can we social validation is something that some people usually tend to look for. Yeah. So how can we break that toxic cycle of social validation? Because some people, it doesn't take long for a person to get addicted to such validation. So what is your take?
Yeah. So first of all, I would think that social media validation from the society is not something new. Today you have a social media, but even otherwise, why do you buy a new set of jewelry when you go for a wedding? Why don't you wear the jewelry only at home in the night? You do want people to see your piece of jewelry. Or why do you throw a party when your son gets a job? So you have, as humans, we always seek validation. In social media, it's much more easier, it's much more immediate, and it's larger. That's the only thing. I think one just has to be moderate. Let's also admit that we all feel happy when somebody compliments you. So it is part of human psyche, except that you shouldn't overdo. Don't live for social validation, but if it comes to you, feel happy. But there are times you could get trolled, there are times people say nasty things. You should also have that kind of a Teflon coating, which is why it's very important that adults monitor what children put up, so that when something unpleasant things come in, they are able to handle. I have a 16-year-old daughter, 17-year-old daughter. She's on social media, so I tell her this is all part of it. If you put up a picture and you have 100 likes and 25 great comments, there will be 2 comments which will say, what are you thinking when you put up, or have you seen your face, or what do you think? This is part of life. I would say that learn to do the right things even on social media. Don't overdo anything.
Thank you, ma'am, for your take. That was really wise advice. Can I ask you the take of other panelists on this topic?
I agree with Manjula. I think social validation has been around for thousands of years. We've seen in our dramas and Upanishad, everywhere we see the stories. It's about social validation in a way or one way or the other. But perhaps what we are trying to recognize is the platforms actually accelerate or amplify that validation. Along with that validation, you also see some noise. Right? So you have to really see through the noise, exactly what Manjula is saying. You have to see this noise, but another point is also about how much do we accept? Now, if we know what we are doing, you see, there's something called artificial validation. We're trying to fill in our egos because we got to realize that, and probably comes in from the education. You probably can influence your friends, your classmates into putting some thought into wondering what do you really get out of those likes, and how long will it last, right? And also, these platforms die. You see now Facebook is fading, people are switching to Twitter. Twitter is maybe, you don't know where it will end up with all the sameness going on. So all these platforms are going to lose its sheen. They have a shelf life. But the platforms exist not for you to talk about social validation, but also by the side there's data, there's analytics, there's sales that's going on, marketing campaigns. This is how the platforms make money. But for us, how much of it should you accept? How much of time should you invest in this platform? This is a question that I probably you should ask.
I think that is important. So like the thing is that like when people, even though it is temporary, there are several people who still crave for it. Even though they know it's temporary, they would rather like even though they know that people won't permanently always keep complimenting them or anything, they still look for it, and they look for it obsessively. So that's the thing that I want to say.
Yeah, I'll probably talk about it in two levels, right? First thing is, when you look at technology platforms, they are built to get you addicted. Okay, so they will try to see what data is being captured, and they'll try to understand your personality and say that, oh, this person likes clothes, this person likes fashion. When they put this, there are a lot of people interested in this, right? So they are actually doing a business, right? And a lot of people who seek social validation are people who are not confident inside, right? Who are actually looking for attention outside, right? Somebody who's happy, somebody who's contented, somebody who's confident about themselves, right? They don't need any validation, right? Sometimes if people appreciate, you enjoy it, but it will not get to your head, right? So a lot of us, need to get to that stage, but it's a journey for most of them, right? Even most of the kids, students, and everyone. It's a network effect where people actually want that your friends are getting like 1 million followers, even I need 1 million followers, right? So that way, there is that, but you'll eventually over a period of time start realizing that this is not everything. So it's just like going through any other journey, you'll go through this social validation journey to realize what's important, what's not important. And that's when your maturity eventually kicks in. But yes, there are people who eventually get into mental health issues and a lot of other problems. And that is where understanding what is the boundary, like Surya mentioned, is important, and it depends on a lot of factors, right? So yeah.
I'll probably add one small example. These days, we talk about which car which car gives you more mileage rather than which is the most expensive car on the road. You see so many Benz and other cars. You always want to talk about the car that is more efficient. So the validation there is about efficiency here. Earlier it was about luxury. Now it is also changing because of the ecosystem. Because people seem to be more concerned about the environment, and rightfully they should be.
The environment is like the trend.
Yeah, exactly. Now you use the word trend, right? So that's what's trending in. So your validation will be driven by these factors, right? And the what to validate. But the questions must be asked. How long should you seek this validation from these platforms? Because your question is more about internet. This is more bigger picture about validation, which is how you tie it to the internet is something that you should continue to discover with your friends and classmates. Anything to add, Abhimanika?
You all have actually added all the points, but something that I would want to tell personally is, I think I will definitely admit, initially, like you said, it's a journey. We all kind of get addicted to these things think we are bound to do that as humans. For that matter, even when it comes to your own family, you know, every day you greet your parents, you wake up, you say hello, hi, good morning, go give them a hug, and then suddenly that stops. You kind of feel uncomfortable with that switch. But then you slowly learn to adopt to these things and understand who you are, what you are, and especially on social media, it's not about validation. It is okay to a level, but also there is the negative side of it. It does affect you again, and you should be strong enough to even take that, but that should not affect you as a person mentally or physically. I think that is something which is very important because it can take a huge toll on your mental health. This is what I've realized, especially with a lot of teens and a lot of students, because they are so much into social media and they seek that attention, they seek that validation, but make sure it doesn't get into your head and ruin your mental health. That is something I feel every individual, whatever age they are into, they need to understand that that is not who you are. You might do it maybe for your happiness, but outside of it, what you are as a person also matters. If you are happy with your own self, and also confidence, Praveen, you also said people who are confident and all of that. I'll tell you sometimes, yes, today I wear a new outfit, I would want my followers to tell me if it is nice or not. That's something that we as influencers look at it, but even if they say no, we are okay with it. Even if like 90 people say no, we are still okay with it. So I think that is something that I want to tell everybody. They might not always tell you, yes, you're good, you're good. There are people who will constantly tell you, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. But that'll also help you improve your own self. That's how I've learned my way till here.
Actually, since I actually wanted to pose another question to you. Since you're pretty famous because you managed to win so many things. So you must have found that people how can I say you find people who compliment you, and there are also people who comment on those
the negatives.
Yes, and they say it all in the name of right to express and
to show off. And I will tell you the words. People definitely tell me that it doesn't really matter because I know what I'm doing. I know what my intention and purpose is behind that particular post or whatever the content I post on social media. That is for people who might need it at that particular moment, because I talk about mental health, I talk about depression, I talk about fashion, I talk about fitness. So sometimes you want to hear it from a third person. Though there's a person who's telling me constantly, it might not affect me, but a third person tells me that's human nature. So that is the reason we have followers. That is the reason we follow somebody else. Because I'll tell you about my son. If I ask him, I am a fitness coach, I am a dancer, he doesn't get trained under me. He'd rather listen to Meghna because he finds Meghna very inspiring. So that's how we are. We humans are like that. So I think that is something we all also look for in a person. So people do follow me for a certain reason. There are people who follow me to pull me down, but then I'm not going to stop. I think that's the attitude I have, that's the attitude everyone should have, irrespective of being on social media or not.
Small addendum or maybe different perspective to what Abhimanika just said. So, the likes, I think they're good. It looks good visually. The likes look good visually, but don't let that be your emotional fillers. I think that's the most important thing to note. Nothing can replace compliment from your friends, from your parents, from your well-wishers. See, being an influencer is part of your trade, right? Part of what you do, because it takes some amount of effort and there's value in it. But outside of that, if you're just talking about children and the impact that the social media platforms have on their psyche, probably is the one word. Should not cast over the value of emotions and value of the conversations with parents connections and the human connections. Human connections are irreplaceable. So us comparing really these connections, the value of these connections, I think it's taking the discussion in the wrong direction. So just an addendum to what Abhimanyu said.
All I meant was, of course we do it, there's an intention behind it, but we definitely don't seek that validation from them, because there's so many people who are constantly putting their, no matter how much you try, if somebody doesn't like you, they will not like you. So that is exactly what I meant. Don't get it till your head. And today's day, trust me, the first person who compliments me wherever I go is my son. So and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I love it, and I don't need anybody else to do that. But from an influencer perspective, we do it because we want the audience. We throwing certain information. Okay, this is the way you might find this particular outfit at this place. So it's an easy way to promote a brand. So in that perspective is what I meant.
Absolutely, there's influencers have value.
So Manjulata ma'am, many people they pride themselves whenever they create an original work. When their original work tends to gain popularity, there are also people who plagiarize it and claim it to be their own. So how do you think we can stop it from our own work from getting plagiarized? How do we claim that originality, saying that it belongs to us only?
Yeah, so I mean, once you put it out on the internet, the exposure is there, and the danger of being plagiarized always stands. So I guess now once plagiarism has started happening, there are many smart tools where you can actually brand your content with your. You can put in your name. You can probably, if you are a creator, you're a professional serious creator, and you want to earn out of it, but not others do it, then you should definitely invest in the tools like, I don't know, Canva and all. Some of them are free, but there are professional tools with which you can mark. You can even prevent it from being copied. You can prevent it from being right-clicked. So I would suggest that if you're a serious creator, you must invest in these tools. It's like protecting your house from intruders. You have to do this if it works. There are multiple tools to do that. Just go for it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That will probably be very useful to everyone here, since all of us really love to create things. I'd like to request all of your takes on this panel, if possible. Starting with Naveen sir. Can we we'd like to request your takes on this discussion. So starting off with.
Okay, so yeah, I think it's a very interesting discussion. Primarily, everything is everything is seen as black and white, but it's not, right? It's grey, and digital is a space that, if you look at majority of India, they're newly adopting. A lot of people don't know how to handle it. Like, imagine I give you a new car and you don't know driving, right? It's so difficult for you to know how to handle it. And same is with social media. So what you think is okay offline, you just start implementing that, and it goes back to where you're brought up, your ethics, a lot of things, right? And all these come in, and suddenly when you get a very powerful thing, like let's say you have something like, a magic wand in your hand, right, where you can reach any number of people, do anything on internet, have anonymity, then you start feeling that power and you don't know how to use that power, right? And in that case, that is what is happening with majority of people out there on internet, and some of them are using it in good ways, some of them are not, right? And also, second thing I really want to point out to Abhimanika and Surya, the way they were discussing, is you should truly understand who is a creator, who is creating content with a purpose, because it's a part of the profession, versus somebody who has a personal account who's trying to create a brand, right? So a lot of you have to really understand the difference, because the motivation is very different, the approach is very different, and all of that, right? So if you start thinking that the creator is just creating for a purpose just because they want social validation, that's not right. And the other way around, it's not that the personal account guy is not looking for social validation, right? So you need to really understand the balance, and all these dynamics can be much better aware as you go. And when you talk about it at parents level, I think it's a mutual responsibility of parents as well to understand digital media space, right? And at the same time, even kids to really make sure that they discuss with the parents, right? Because privacy and everything else is evolving, right? A lot of new privacy laws are coming in, a lot of stuff is happening. So you should really start understanding the boundaries, right? So all in all, summary, I think some great points made. So yeah, I'll leave it to that panelist. Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed the discussion. I think this needs to lead to another discussion and maybe more brainstorming around what's happening, where is this leading to, the artificial intelligence, metaverse, where does your future stand? I think you're talking about today, right? Your questions are pointed, how can I make money on the internet today, what are lives? But beyond this, you should be looking at tomorrow, how will lives transform? What's the metaverse? I think that should be the next step. I'm always looking forward to what's next, like the 3 dots, that's me. But perhaps you should extend this discussion and get us some answers. Because I don't think this generation, with the values, ethics that we have been raised with and what we carry, will have answers for you. Because you should probably predict what's going to happen and also write your future down, because it's not just about right to information, right to privacy, it's beyond that, it's about your future, how do you operate, right? So, all the best.
So much, sir. We'd like our takes from all the other panelists also.
I think everybody covered all the points here, but something that I want to tell is social media is not everything. Your life is much more beyond that. It can also bring you up, it can also pull you down. So make sure whatever you're doing, whatever the reason that you're using for, has a purpose and an intention behind it, even for creators or even as an audience. So make sure whatever time you're investing in that has a purpose. So that's it. Thank you.
I would think that you should take this discussion later, like Surya suggested, and have a certain Google form sent to all your students, where they talk about, are they on social media, what do they like, what do they hate, how can, and then perhaps run it through a panel of psychologists, tell them how to handle fame, how to handle happiness, joy, trolls, criticism, fake news. A whole lot of things can be discussed. So I'm sure it can be taken to there, and thank you for having us.
I just want to add, Meghna, again, if you can do this, I think probably should do an exercise with the parents. How do they handle social media with their kids, right? I think, and understand the perspective.
Thank you so much, panelists, for joining me today. All of your opinions are extremely valuable. That's why I'm honored to take this panel discussion today. And I know it's a very long day, so we just have 2 more things to go with. So without wasting time, I request the head of our institution, I'd like to request Shruti to take this forward.
Thank you, Abhimanika ma'am, Surya Prakash sir, Praveen sir, Manjulata ma'am. Thank you for your thoughtful insight. It was truly amazing. May I request Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir to please felicitate Manjulata ma'am.
నన్ను వచ్చింది పౌరానికి నన్ను వచ్చింది ఏమే నన్ను తిరిగింది కదా
To please felicitate Surya Prakash sir. request Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir to please felicitate Abhimanika Yadav ma'am. I request Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir to please felicitate Praveen Dorna sir. Thank you all the panelists. May I request Anupama ma'am and Vidya ma'am to please escort back the deceased. Without further ado, I'd like to call Shashank for the next panel discussion.
Thank you, Shruti. Is character-based holistic education an important concept in line with the world getting more complex due to the development of science and technology? The key to face the development is the quality of human resources. This discussion aims to explain the strategy of character-based holistic education. The strategy includes curriculum and other aspects contributing to the implementation of character-based holistic education. But the thought-provoking question is holistic learning a boon or bane? To understand the same, I take this privilege to call for the discussion, character-based holistic education. Firstly, I would like to call a passionate IT professional and enthusiastic towards the field of education, who strongly believes every individual is a student throughout his life. He has strong determination and desire towards making a positive impact to the society. He strongly believes technology can improve humans' lives immensely if it's used unlimited to its purpose. He is a social and talkative. His friends call him entertainer, music and movie freak. He is a faculty at ISB. Besides his work, he is a lake conservationist and eco-activist. Currently, he is working towards the remediating a 90-acre lake in Hyderabad. I request the Rubiha, Vidya ma'am, Sudha ma'am to escort Sunil Satyavalu sir. The next panelist is the founder of the Culinary Lounge, which is highly interactive culinary studio space in Banjara Hills, Hyderabad. This is designed to make the art of cooking and baking a memorable and unique adventure. A space that brings food enthusiasts from all ages together to bond over food. Uniquely curated experience. Leave long memories of the kitchen experience in participants. I request Anupama ma'am to escort Gopi Palipala sir onto the stage. Taking this forward, I would like to call a skilled lady. She is a medical director of SUCU Youth Crisis Center, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. She is a psychiatrist for child and adolescent. She loves working with children and their caregivers as much as she enjoys the challenges they bring. So can we request Vidya ma'am to escort Dr. Manasa ma'am onto the stage? The next panelist is a very ambitious lady. She is an IRS Additional Commissioner of Income Tax, President of Spurti, the non-profit organization of income tax women employees of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. She is working as an officer of Indian Revenue Services, also an officer of Central Board of Direct Taxes and Department of Revenue and Ministry of Finance, India. Welcome Haritha Katagada ma'am. I would like Anupama ma'am to please escort, Meghna ma'am to please escort Haritha Katagada ma'am onto the stage. Thank you very much for joining me on this discussion. I am sure we will have an effective conversation. The topic for our discussion is character-based holistic education. To know more about this, let's get started into the discussion. Character-based holistic education aims to develop students' physical, emotional, social, creative, spiritual, and intellectual aspects optimally. A holistic thinker will tend to see all the concerns as equal. To her or him, excluding any of them is to invite unintended consequences of your actions. She or he will look for a way to bring all the concerns into balance simultaneously. So Manasa ma'am, as a parent yourself, how do you think a parent should encourage and support their child mentally and emotionally if the child wants to pursue their interest in unconventional career paths?
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me on the panel. It's a pleasure. So that's a very good question, and I think probably a burning question for a lot of parents. So one thing we have to understand is our generation, which means parents who are parents right now, have been brought up in a totally different era than what our current generations are being brought up, and that will be different for each generation. So our struggles are different from our parents' struggles. It will be the same way for our children. Their struggles are different, but the common denominator here is struggle. Every person has to go through some kind of struggle to become the best of themselves. Unless that happens, it's a lost opportunity. If you are not struggling, you are losing that opportunity to become better. So I think that's very important. And it's important that every one of us understand that in that way, that, okay, so this is, sometimes we feel like, okay, these are my dreams. You know, when I was a young girl or a young boy, this is what I want to be. But probably at the time, because of whatever limitations we had, we could not achieve those things. But at the same time, what they automatically feel their kids are a part of themselves and try to see how they could further their dreams through their kids. So I think everybody has dreams. So I think we have to respect our children's dreams, to know what their dreams are, and to see what kind of struggle they have to go through. And sometimes what they talk is completely, something you feel like this is something I have never heard of. Like, I have a daughter, she's 9-year-old, and the way she continues to change what she wants to be very often. And suddenly one day she said like she wanted to become a YouTuber. So I was like, wow, I did not even expect that to be a profession in itself. So, but at the same time, we cannot just, dismiss off just because we don't have the knowledge of what they're wanting to become. So that is the reason why whatever they say, we need to respect them. We need to give them that opportunity and that support to see what they can do best in that area. So, and at this, however time and effort is needed for the child to put in, we also have to put in probably more effort to find what are the pros and cons of that area and to learn ourselves to say, okay, these are the things. And the second thing would be, because we are not aware of these things, I would encourage parents to let children meet with this, whoever they want to become, who are already there right now, and let them have that conversation to know and understand what it takes to become what they want to, and how they can further it from whatever it is there. So, I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very insightful. Sunil sir, in India, from an early stage, education is limited to only academics. Keeping that in mind, do you think an individual's development is restricted to merely academics? If not, how do they take it forward?
So the fundamental disconnect between our education system and what is there in the market as a demand is significantly high. Our education system prepares all the students for their eligibility, wherein the market out there is expecting the students to be really, really capable. And capability is never focused on school education system, at least to a larger extent that I know. Some amazing schools do that, at least best effort. But eligibility is only something which will take you. It's like this, right? So somebody is super rich can buy a Ferrari, that is their eligibility. But can they drive it carefully in the road is their capability. So capability is something that the schools and our education system is expected to focus really, really well. And second and most important thing is the parents have become part-time parents in most of the cases. That they're busy throughout the week. During the weekend, they just shower their love onto the kids, and kids is like, they don't expect it. Is my parent suffering from multiple personality disorder? Why do they behave differently during the weekday? They don't even let me speak to them. But during weekend, they give me everything that I don't even ask for. Take me to the movies, buy a lot of gifts and all that stuff. Is a weird experience for the child. So that can never be the case. It's a constant effort. A lot of people think parenting is art, but in my opinion, parenting is science. You have to constantly put an effort to understand what's happening with your child. And third and most important point is we raise our kids in a cultured environment. It's like we raise the kids in an aquarium kind of a mode in our own house. And when these kids go and kind of put in a lake kind of an environment or an ocean kind of an environment, they cannot survive, right? So what it essentially means is expose them to unfavorable conditions, let them fail,
don't take responsibility of their failure. Take responsibility to give them another chance, and do not make them like Dr. Mansa mentioned. Do not make them a medium to achieve your dreams. That should never be the case, because that will add a huge pressure on them, right? So, out and out, the education system itself needs a reformation. But do we sit and wait for the education to reform, or do we have an action to take? Yes, there is an opportunity for us to take action. Like all the parents who are still here waiting to listen to some insights, here are some of those actions, right? While everybody else chose to leave. And there are a lot of parents who believe that, okay, let me give some entertainment to my children, but what kind of entertainment can I give so that they find some learning out of it, right? That could be another way that you take an action. So these are few things. Allow them to fail, but allow them to fail fast so that they take right decisions when they attempt it second time. So these are few points which I believe which are closely connected to the education system and also on the parenting standpoint.
Thank you, sir. That was truly enlightening. Mr. Gopi, sir, I will have a goal, but not the drive. How will I be able to overcome that slump and ensure I am working towards the goal?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I really love to always talk to kids, communicate with kids. That is something which always keeps me excited. Coming back to the question, goal, if it is not drive, right, it always remains as an intent. So goal is something which I want to do. Drive is something which makes me, or gives me a path to achieve it. I'll tell you an example. I started love towards getting into the kitchen and cooking since age of 8. I thought I'll become one of the best chefs. I cracked one of the best culinary schools in India. And I applied and I showed the letter to my dad, and he said, you're not supposed to become a chef, you're supposed to become an engineer. I decided when you're born. So there is no choice. I went to Madras University, I completed my graduation, and I worked for Oracle for 10 years. But still, I know that my goal is to always, because I always love kitchen, so my goal was always to do something related to food, but I didn't knew how to do, but the drive always kept my goal or my dream alive. So I resigned Oracle, I started my entrepreneurship and my startup journey in 2014, and I'm still continuing. And today, I'm still not a chef, but I'm blessed to work with one of the finest chefs across the globe. I work with almost 500 chefs across the globe, from Michelin stars to tribal chefs. So why I'm saying, I achieve not even one. Why I'm sharing this story is, mine is a classic example. If you have that drive, you can really achieve your goal, or at least it will enable you to go towards the goal. So drive, it will remain as an intent, and it will always, you'll have reasons to see
and you are qualified to do so.
You are.
do it. But these two principles have what guided me in my life. That always be prepared that there will be challenges. No matter how good you do, how well prepared you are, something will come up because world is a complicated place to be in. And the second part is you should be convinced. If you have the belief and conviction that you are doing the correct thing, then we can go ahead and face it.
Thank you for your wonderful words, ma'am. This is a common question to all the panelists. How do you make meaningful connections with people who have already achieved what they
aspire to become? From which sources can we find and connect with them?
So, be in the world out there. What the size of your world basically determines how well you get connected, right? For a school student, their school or their neighborhood or their family will be the size of their world. But unless you increase the size of your world, you will never be able to kind of choose the person who you can work with. You want to be a doctor, you can be 10 doctors. But what if none of them are able to connect with you and give you that information in the way that you consume, right? That doesn't make sense, which means you need to try harder to increase the size of your world. In the same manner, do not be restricted, do not limit yourself, don't expect some help will come over to you. Being social, being in the network where that you believe your career is kind of meant to be really flourishing is super crucial. So be where, like, fish where fishes are there, right? Not go to a wedding and expect some doctor to come to you and give you career advice. So identify opportunities where you can meet the people of your taste or your stature or somebody who can connect with you and also give you that guidance. So that's one important thing. And also, do not always expect somebody else will host some events for you that you go and participate. You can host an event as well to bring people to your network and then try to figure out who can actually be your mentor. It's very important to be mentors in our life. They will not only reflect us, but they will actually tell you on what are the areas where we should actually improvise ourselves in the way we attempt and all that stuff, right? So, creating your world, increasing the size of your world is key. Most of the people hesitate, saying that what would happen if I do not get this required help from the people whom I'm expecting. That's fine, you're not going to lose anything at this station. But if you don't try harder, you grow up in the ladder, then if you fail at that point of time, that mistake would be a very, very costly one, right? So do not hesitate to fail and fail faster so that you can try for better options.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said. So that's true, as kids are growing and, they start with this smaller social circle, beginning with, their parents, and then comes their teachers, and then comes their friends, and so on. So I think the good thing about this era is the internet, the ability to reach beyond borders. That's the key for, I would suggest. There are so many ways to get the right people's attention, but you can always Google somebody and try to, just begin with emailing that person if you want to connect to them and see how that goes. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, don't give up, try different ways. Talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, and try to see what they can give you, what advice they can give you. I'm saying this because I think each person that you want to, if you want to connect to a doctor, the advice will be totally different from what you want to do if you have to connect to somebody in civil services or somebody who is a great chef or working in the environment, and those are all very specific things that you will have to understand. What is a platform for you? So that information, I would say, reach out to your teachers, your principals, or your elders. And internet again is a huge resource for you. And the biggest thing is in your school, I see that whatever you people think or whatever there's people will stand and listen to you guys, and they will take it to a next level rather than dismissing it off. So I think this is a great resource for all of you at Fountainhead Global School to, see what you want to become and how you want to pursue your careers. Over to us.
When it comes to connect, I don't know how to explain generic. I'll tell you what I follow in my life. I have a habit of breaking bread with strangers till now. I mean, it might be a airport, railway station, bus station, anywhere. I love to break bread with strangers. Why? Because I always believed food is a lubricator, universal social lubricator. So if it comes to connect, what I do is two things. If suppose, may I know your name?
Shashank, sir.
Shashank. So it is something where I love to talk to Shashank, to connect to, right? I have something emotive to do. Two things I'll find out. One is what excites Shashank. Maybe cars, okay? I'll read, and I might be the one who is poorest, not knowing anything about cars. I don't know the difference between BMW also, all Merc also, maybe. Still, if I'm meeting you after 2 days or 3 days, I'll study about cars. Because I love food, that doesn't mean you love to converse with me about food. Okay? I have to converse with you about cars, then only you'll be excited to talk to me. So I'll read a lot about cars before I'm meeting you, number one. Number two, I'll try to figure out what is the best, at least what is the food you love. You might love biryani, you might love pongal, you might love chocolates, right? I'll take an effort, I'll bring that to you. Two things will happen. You will understand that somewhere related to me because he's talking about cars. Second thing is, Gopi took an effort to either cook or bake or at least purchase the food you love. So that will separate me out from all others who are trying to reach you out and talk in a generic way. That is emotional. Food is emotion, right? It triggers you. So that establishes the connect. After that, it is always a mutual effort to keep the connection alive. The relationship is always mutual. It is not one way. It might be with anyone, right? So that effort of think constantly social capital is something which is very required. My practice is I have an Excel. I mean, this is something I follow, so I'm telling. I have an Excel. I have the best 25 people, even though I talk to many people, but I have the 25 people who inspires me, who always love to, I need to talk. So I write those 25 people names and I take an effort to at least text them, call them or meet them in a while. So I even keep the notes. So that is something my practice to keep the people whom I love to make sure that they stays with me. That is the reason where there is a person called Sunny Naran. He's from Naran's family. He's a chairperson of Angel and Omega Group. I was a very basic entrepreneur in Hyderabad. He stays in Delhi. Exactly, I did the same. And I am one among the persons whom he will talk. Maybe only he talks to 5 people right now. Rest all he will only connect through WhatsApp. And I am one among the 5 people in his life whom he prefers to talk over the phone. So that is what the strong effort takes to, and people will love you eventually if you do that. Thank you.
I think all the other panelists covered all the points. So basically, if you ask me, there are just 3 principles. The first principle, as already said Mr. Raju, is that network doesn't come to you, you go to the network. Then the second point is communication is always the key. Do not expect the communication to come from the other side always. You have to put in a little bit of effort, then something else will come from that side. Then the third part, the point will be is friends are different from network. You always should know the distinction. And those who are in your friend list, you should make that additional effort to keep them close because they are your emotional coverage. So that is all.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir. So, what were your takes on this panel discussion?
So I think it's a very good discussion, and I think that's one of the key things that I like about Fountainhead is like, it's more like go do this instead of saying go do this. They give the resources how to do this. So So I think that's the very key thing about this institution, and I totally respect about that. And this is a great discussion, because this is important for the aspiring younger generations to know. These are little things, but it is kind of great to get that advice as to how these are actually done. People can say, yeah, go get more network, but how it is done, that I think that's a very good topic you have chosen, and I'm really impressed, and I'm so thankful for the panelists for giving your personal experiences into it, because that's the reality of it, how you do, how I do, and how we do. So I think those are very important for our kids and our next generations to believe in, what will work versus what will not work. And as Harita has, summarized things, those are the key things, You cannot get wrong. You cannot go wrong when you follow those things. It can take some time, but you cannot go wrong. And it's an amazing topic. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shashank. Connected very well. Kudos to the Fountainhead team. That they are allowing the students to, make their own way in doing such things instead of monitoring it intensely. So good job. So thanks to Meghna for inviting us here. Then this has been a very interesting discussion. I am very happy to hear the views of the other panelists, and I definitely will break bread and do that. I will follow your principle. Thank you.
This is great session always. What to say? Panel discussions or storytelling or communication, everything will have one sense to take back home, right? So we are all people, we are keeping the phones away and we are talking. So somebody will learn or we will learn from something. So this dialogue is very important. And topic is, of course, is good in terms of like holistic education. I strongly believe, we are ending the panel, but I strongly believe education should not stay in a classroom alone. There is a lot to learn outside the world. So, thanks to Meghna, the reason why I really love her or respect her is the way she always tries to do something beyond the classroom, right? It might be a lake project, it might be anything. So that is something where if we try to teach or learn something from nature or people, it always stays strong. So as an advocate, again, I always believe kitchen can teach a lot. I learned how to fail in the kitchen only. I failed 20 times to make a dosa. 21st time I actually made it. So maybe that is the inspiration for me to become an entrepreneur. None of my family is from a business background. I never had a failure. I just jumped because I know I'll fight. So my 2 cents again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was an amazing and informative panel discussion. Yes, now we have clarity on the importance of holistic learning. Let's clap for all the panelists once again. Now I request Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir to felicitate them.
Thank you, Harita ma'am, Mansa Musnuri ma'am, Sunil sir, Kopi Krishna sir. Now I request Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir to please felicitate Harita Katragadda ma'am.
ma'am and Sridhar sir to please felicitate Gopi Krishna sir. It was truly amazing. I request Anupama ma'am and Vidya ma'am to please escort.
Thank you for all. I literally have to thank all my students for pulling off such an amazing, great event. And thanks all the teachers for supporting this and students who are watching this live. So I would like to share something very close to my heart today. So I would like to inform something that, I've been waiting from almost from 6th onwards to express, but I thought, let me take a right occasion to express this. You must be meeting all the teachers in Fountainhead, and I'm sure most of the parents who were with us, took this journey with us from really, really long time. You all know one of the favorite teachers and the most passionate teachers of Fountainhead. And on the occasion of her completing an entire decade with Fountainhead, started with us as a play school, play group teacher, and been with us every day in, day out, highs, lows, and giving us advices. So I would like to announce on this stage, from this stage, that Mrs. Anupama Singh will be our Vice Principal from here on. So, may I request Anupama ma'am to please come on to the dais. Thank you so much for being that amazing human being and helping us in everything. And she is favorably known as Didi by all her students. Take this opportunity to thank my strongest pillar, Sudha ma'am. Please come on to the dais. So she's our head of the institution, and in her leadership, I'm going to see Fountainhead grow leaps and bounds, and our students can achieve their dreams. So thank you so much for that unconditional professional services that you provide for Fountainhead, and you set the right example for all the people to follow you. And I feel so blessed that we are a team, and I get to learn so much from you on day-to-day basis. And so is the rest of our team, definitely. But I thought this is the stage. She was here. She always will be there, even in my absence. So Fountainhead is Sudha ma'am. Sudha ma'am is Fountainhead. I'm sure all the parents who are associated until all these years will know about this. Thank you, Sudha ma'am, for being such a great leader.
Stretch your wings and fly, go!
పంచి పిలుస్తున్నాను ఫోన్ ఒకటి ఆడుతూ ఉన్నారు.
Thank you everyone. This was really an amazing program conducted by all the Fountainhead. Thank you my beloved friends for taking this program in a happy flow. Thank you Venkat sir and Anupama ma'am and all our beloved teachers for being with us and helping us. Not the least, I'd mainly thank Sudha ma'am for making this event so successful, helping us, guiding us and mentoring us and being by our side each and every movement. Thank you Meghna ma'am and Sridhar sir for all your support. Thank you Venkatesh Anna, Moinul Bhaiya and Kacha and all the tent house team and all the sound system people who have worked with us, LED setups and all the people who worked for today's session, all the camera people and all of you, thank you so much. I'd like to thank all and all the people who helped us for making this event so successful. Thank you so much. Now, I request Tanish to please come onto the stage and give his vote of thanks.
Vote of thanks. Thank you Shruti for giving me this privilege to thank all our guests of honor. Dr. Manjula, Ujjwal Singh sir, Allu Venkatesh sir and Harita Katragata ma'am. Our panelists, Dr. Manasa Musunuri, Bindu Naidu ma'am, Sri Charan Lakkaraju sir, Praveen Dorna sir, Surya Prakash Pispati sir, Manjulata Kalanidhi ma'am, Vishala ma'am, Gopal Krishna sir, Sunil Satyavolu sir, Abhimanika Yadav ma'am and Aslam Hirani sir. The chief guests, Dr. Andrew Lemming and His Excellency Right Honorable MP. Thank you all for taking your time to make this event more memorable and beautiful with your presence. We wholeheartedly thank all our parents and fellow friends. A big thank you to all our teachers for all the support and guidance. Wishing you all a very happy weekend. Thank you so much everyone.
అప్పుడే చెప్పింది కదా అడుగుతారు కదా
can I request all the teachers and the students to please come onto the desk to click a picture with the guests of honor and the speakers. Students, can I request you to assemble here so that we can actually go onto the stage, all the teachers onto the stage. All the students who are present here, may I request you to please come near this dais. Everyone, I am not going to Okay, let us quickly do this in 1 minute, in 60 seconds. Your time starts now. Can you please take a place where you think that you are going to stay there?
రాజు వెనకలాగా ప్రేమలో ఉంది
See, the ones in the front row can just get on to your knees, so that way everybody will be seen.
ఇట్లా వెనక మధ్యలో పడతా అర్థం
Thank you.
హోల్
Can I request my mom, Sharda Rani's biggest support, to please join us in the middle to click one picture?
వీళ్ళు గబకండి
వాళ్ళందరినీ ఇక్కడ తిరగమను
ఆ పోల్కి జరగమను
లోపల తిరగమను.
So
ఏదంటారు చూడు జరగమ్మా జరుగు మీరు కాదు సార్ పిల్లలు ఈ పోల్కి యువతలు జరగండి
may I request the
నువ్వే
guests
పైన
to please
పైన జరుపు రాజు రాజు పైన జరుపు పై లైన్ పై లైన్ జరుపు బాక్స్ ఆ అమ్మాయి ఇటు వచ్చేసింది సరిపోయింది వాళ్ళు జరిగితే ఒకళ్ళిద్దరు రమ్మని బాబుని
quickly we'll click a picture and then
మేడం కొంచెం బ్యాక్ సైడ్ మీ బ్యాక్ సైడ్ మేడం
కొంచెం క్రాస్గా ఉండి సార్ రైట్ కొంచెం క్రాస్గా ఉండండి క్రాస్గా ఉంచండి మేడం కొంచెం క్రాస్గా ఉంచండి ఇటు సైడ్ ఇటు తిరగండి ఇటువైపు తిరగండి
రెడీయా హలో ఎవ్రీవన్ ఓకే డన్
అటండి కస్తారండి
రైట్
కనబడుతుంది
మేడం కొంచెం ముందుకు రండి
Satvik,
అన్నా కొంచెం జరగండి రైట్ అంతేనా
పంపి బాబు
ఇక్కడ చూడండి హియర్ వెయిట్ మేడం
May I request the mentors to join in, please? Mentors, teachers, we'll take one step back. So Sridhar sir. Amir, please join us.
I got my peaches out in Georgia. I get my weed from California. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. I get my life right from the source, yeah. And I say, girl, the way I breathe you in is the texture of your skin. Never let you baby, never let you go.
Ready, sir? రెడీ సార్ ఇక్కడ చూడండి. ఓకే ఓకే
Mentors, if you stand on the stage, my teachers will stand here and we will click one picture, please.
లోపలికి వచ్చేయండి. రైట్ ఇలా జరగండి. ఏమండి ఇటు తిరగండి మేడం. ఇటు తిరగండి. ఇటు సైడ్కి మా వైపు మా సైడ్ ఈ పోల్ దాటండి. సరిపోద్ది ముందుకే ఉండండి. పోల్ ముందు ఉండండి. ఇటు వచ్చేయండి. పోల్ ముందుకు వచ్చేయమని.
rest of the team also to join for clicking pictures. Venkatesh, Roman, Kaja, Aima, Moinol, all the Aimas, please. అందరూ ఒక్కసారి ఇక్కడికి వస్తే మనం అందరం కలిపి ఒక ఫోటో తీసుకుందాం.
ఒక నిమిషం లైట్ లాపు తీసేస్తున్నా లేదు ఫ్రై అయిపోయాను
you.